welcome to another episode of Questlog, the weekly show about video games old and new. My name is Tyler Everett, and I am joined once again by the one and only, the Brian Maxwell. How's it going, sir?
Good, man. How you doing?
So good. Oh, man. Episode 55, hype. Where it all comes
here.
together.
We made it.
And special guest, Kat Maxwell, is here with us again. Welcome, Kat.
Hello.
How's it going?
It's going good.
Did you have a good turkey day?
It was without my hubby, so
Yeah.
it wasn't that great, but
Wait,
we
you guys
still
were
had
separate?
food.
Mm-hmm.
Brian, are separate?
Brian and I worked for Turkey Day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Aaron
they don't
Kring,
close.
Oh, yeah. Just the fart, Aaron Kring.
He's
you
also
know?
well.
Yeah.
You
He's
cut
just
in.
here.
You cut in.
Fucking
how-
asshole.
Yeah, I was gonna give you a proper intro, but you couldn't shut your damn mouth for 5
Well,
seconds. And
Can we
No.
stop
Well,
it?
I'm confused. How was Kat and Brian? How were Kat and Brian? Excuse me. Not together on Turkey Day.
They don't close. His job doesn't close ever.
Yeah.
The
24/7.
border doesn't close.
There's a chance he might even have to work
We got to build a
Christmas.
wall
Yeah.
in Canada.
Yeah.
Wait, I thought Canada.
Tyler.
I thought.
Yes, sweetheart. What's
Tyler,
up?
can you give Aaron Kring the rich introduction that he deserves, please?
Oh, thank
Ladies
you.
and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, the one, the only, Aaron Bartholomew Kring. I wanted to do your middle name, but I don't know it, so there you go.
It's Ray.
Okay.
So
Really?
you're way off.
Are you?
Yeah.
Wait, really?
This whole time?
My middle name's Raymond as well. That's fucking crazy.
No.
Oh, it's just Ray.
Just Ray, not
Okay.
Raymond.
All right. Well, hey,
Ah.
Is it Ray Ray?
it is.
I'm not from Jersey, Brian. Just Ray.
That's okay. Moving on. Yeah, Brian. So Brian and I worked for Thanksgiving, and it was mostly bad. But you
But you guys were together, so that's all that
we
matters.
were together for part of it. Yes.
Yeah.
And
The best part of it.
There was they tried to order from the Cracker Barrel to get us some food.
Boy, that sounds like a real bad idea.
Yeah, but here's the thing, like, everyone complained about the food, but here's the secret. The next day, there's, like, a ton of leftovers in the fridge, and you just take everything, like the mashed potatoes and the ham and the steak and the
Oh, please
chicken
don't,
dumplings and the
Tyler.
mac and cheese and the bacon that's in a weird thing and the shredded cheese, and you just mix it all into a bowl
Tyler.
and microwave that for, like, 20 minutes, and then you're good to go. It just all blends into this wonderful...
No wonder you and
Tyler?
Brian get along so well.
Yeah, yep, just
Tyler, I
just blend my food together and I'll drink it like a smoothie. I don't care.
Tyler, I just wanted to let you know that if you weren't doing video games
Yeah,
on the internet, a video game podcast on the internet,
the number
I would-
one
and
video game podcast in the
even
thumb area of
the Southeast Michigan thumb
Southeastern-
region.
Yeah, there you go. Nailed it.
Yeah, you know what? Even with this podcast, I would really much enjoy a Tyler Everett cooking channel.
Yeah.
Like, can you make that happen on YouTube? Just videotape yourself cooking, just whatever monstrosities you put in your face.
If you're just sad, desperate, and hungry, how to scrape together whatever's
Yeah.
in front of you and
Oh,
eat
man.
it.
Yeah. I could do that.
we
That
could call
work.
it broke idiot cooking or something like that.
So,
Tortillas with Tyler.
oh, my God.
Yeah.
You get points for
I'm good at this.
alliteration. You get...
Yep.
It's accurate because that's the perfect delivery vehicle for all foods. So yeah, no, I'm on board. I say do start
Tortillas
that up.
with Tyler.
Yeah.
All right, let's print it, ship it.
Oh well, we didn't just eat food this week. We played a shit ton of games. Let's get into it with the music song. There it is.
Sorry, visitor.
Oh man, so many games, you guys. So many games. Hey, Kat. I've been waiting to hear how that Horizon DLC is.
Oh.
Heard you pick that up.
Yeah, I did a while ago, and it's pretty amazing. The whole game itself is awesome, and I can't wait for... Aaron, you picked it up, right?
Spoilers. God,
I believe so.
I did. Yes.
Have you played it yet, Kring?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Not yet. It's. Well, I'll get into it later, but yeah.
I wasn't quite sure how they would add more stuff into the game, because I felt a lot of stuff got answered. but it just kind of adds a new area to the game. And when you first get there, it's like they tell you why they're there and what's going on beyond where you're going. So that was a really good tie-in to why you're there and what you're doing. Different monsters, different machines. So I'm enjoying it. I haven't gotten too deep in it yet, but I already love it.
Yeah, I'm sure Tyler can relate to this. She got a new game she wants to play, but she's been playing Stardew Valley.
I know that game.
I have multiple games that I want to play.
But Stardew Valley's there.
Stardew has a way of sucking up way more time than you ever plan on it sucking up. So yeah, I hear you there.
Speaking of that, my birthday is tomorrow, and Brian pre-ordered the what was it?
The strategy guide. Like, they made a strategy guide that lays out
for Stardew Valley
all the what grows when and whose birthday wants what gifts, and it's all shit you can Google. But
it's kind of neat just to have a printed version of that. That's cool.
Brian, Kat, how many of the dollars would you say you've spent on Stardew Valley, and why is it all of them?
It's probably approaching 100 now.
You guys really like your Stardew. All right.
Yeah. No regrets.
But yeah, this Horizon's the kind of game I need to play when I don't have a kid like right in my face.
Mm-hmm.
So there's just too much stuff to see and do. So that's why Stardew's been kind of the
Stardew's good when you're just tired and you want comfort gaming.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I can get on board with that.
Is it true that they rendered all of the grass under the snow? Like the whole map, like everything is there, and they just rendered then a layer of snow on top of it? Like
I don't know.
I saw a clip of that where she's running around in the snow, and like some of the snow sort of peels away, and there's grass underneath the snow animating.
I have to imagine that it's not always there. Like I don't know the exact trickery that's involved, but yeah, there is. Like when she removes snow from an area, there's like patches of grassy snow underneath. So it's done really well.
I think the DLC's just more of the same. It's more story, more enemies, more Horizon.
Mm-hmm.
It's not different, but it's.
I heard it's also not end game content necessarily. Like you could technically access it whenever.
When I brought this up, it took me back before I finished the game. Like, it took me to my save before I finished the game, and I looked at Brian, I'm like, what is happening right now? So, yeah. I would assume you could probably go into it.
Yeah, it's a nice-looking game.
Mm-hmm. The movement and everything is just fantastic, and the characters are really neat. I like the voice acting in this one a lot.
Man, the hair tech has come so far. It looks so cool. Every time.
I remember watching the cut scenes that they did for Final Fantasy VIII on the original PlayStation, and thinking that how can hair physics get any better than this? And now here we are.
It's the pinnacle.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
They do the armor really well in this game, too, because you have multiple sets you can choose depending on whether you want a stealth character or whether you want a character that's more, heavy armor.
You can dress your dolly.
Yeah, and I have one that looks like she's wearing kind of like an oven mitt on her head, so that's pretty entertaining.
You can just, dress yourself like you're a house elf in Harry Potter?
Apparently. But I think they do that well, too, because your outfits are different depending on what you want.
That's cool.
Hunting's still one of my favorite things to do in this game, and it's stupid, but it's fun. And I've gotten really good at headshots.
I really liked hunting in Breath of the Wild, which, they're similar types of games. But yeah, like hunting in open world games is something that's a really fun distraction and can suck away a lot of your time. Skyrim was the same way. Like,
yeah,
I'd see a deer and I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna get that deer, and I would chase it across the entire continent of Skyrim if I had to. Once I decided I was getting that deer, I'm gonna get it. So.
Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh yeah, yep.
See, Tyler had to chase it that far because he was a big, Nord with a big, huge shield and like mace or something like that, and he refused to sink to the level of shooting it with an arrow. he had to get right up on it and bludgeon it to death because that was the Viking way.
It's demanded by the gods.
Yeah.
So he wasn't able to just shoot it, and get close. So he would literally chase it across the map to get close.
Send that fucking deer to Valhalla.
Yeah, and if for some reason that deer, got me, I wasn't gonna die with a stupid bow in my hand. I had to have, Nord steel between my big old mitts.
It came up upon a cutscene that reminded me. We looked at her focus, and there is a character, like, towards the end of the game, there's a character you don't get much explanation of other than he's there. And this adds a little bit more story into that character, which is, I think, better.
Cool. Well, I'm glad you got to check it out. I am envious,
Play it.
and Kring is going to get all up on that, so that's pretty exciting.
Do it.
Kring, why don't you just go ahead and tell us about the purchase you made over the Black Friday weekend?
So I beat Cuphead. No, I'm kidding. I pulled the trigger and bought myself a PlayStation for the first time in 12 years. I own a Sony console, and I went to the everybody's selling these PlayStations for $200. So, twist my arm, right? Give me a console that I'll actually play games on, and I bought. I got a copy of God of War 3. I got a copy of what the hell's the game we've been talking about? Horizon.
Yep.
Horizon Zero Dawn. I got a copy of MLB The Show. And for show.
Oh man.
For show, I got the show for show.
I'm actually super interested in that because I hear that there is an RPG mode in that game.
Oh yeah, dude.
That sounds
MLB.
Pretty interesting.
So, Tyler, you played NHL 09, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you remember the sort of RPG-ish kind of
yeah. There's like a campaign
career
almost.
mode that you had. You created a character and then you played as that character only and took him through the game. The show is the first game that did that.
Oh, okay.
And it did that for baseball. And it's been the best ever since. So, it's not just the only baseball video game that you could really, deem to be respectable. It's really just the best sports game, period, that you could
I
play.
hear they go as far as, behind the scenes, in the locker rooms and stuff. There's an actual story to it and stuff.
I haven't seen too much because I just started a career with it, so I'm in the minors and just sort of playing scouting games essentially at this point. I'm not even getting. I'm just getting scouted at this point. But yeah, cool, so I got that. I got God of War. There's a fifth game there.
Lego. You got a Lego game, right?
Lego Harry Potter. There's another one there. It's down there somewhere. Let me take another look.
Last Guardian. You said.
Yes, thank you, Brian. The Last Guardian. See, Brian knows what I got more than I do because Brian pays attention.
Yeah, well, he didn't go out drinking tonight either.
Brian didn't go drinking either. So.
It's all right, man. Good stuff.
So
what game did you play on it this week?
I played, like I said, I played a little bit of MLB The Show, but not like a whole lot. It was more like I was playing it because I didn't want to dig into anything when I got home, and I felt like if I was going to dig into any of the games, it was going to be just too much at that late an hour. But since then, I've kind of looked at what I have, and I thought, well, I've played God of War before. I'll power through God of War 3 first. And I'm finding that I have played a portion of this before. I didn't realize that I did, but remember I was visiting a friend, staying at his house for a week back a few years ago, and he had it on PlayStation 3, and now a lot of this is coming back to me. But I think I'm getting to the point now where in the game I have not seen yet. So it's getting to be all new content. It's such a good game too.
Did you play the first one?
I played the first two actually. Yeah,
Okay.
I had a PlayStation 2 when the first one came out. So I worked at GameStop at the time, so I got the demo disc, which was the demo disc is the first level all the way up through the Kraken fight, and
Yeah,
it's
one of
just
the most memorable
really
opening
well done.
levels in any game.
Yep.
I was glued to the TV for that whole first level.
Yep. So I had that demo disc, and I must have played through that demo disc like 6 or 7 times before the game even came out. It had me hooked. It had its hooks in me, and so I played that. Then when I was in college, my roommate had a PlayStation 2, and he had gotten God of War 2, so I played it on his PlayStation. And then I never had a PlayStation 3.
What's the one
So
we
I
played?
didn't
The
get
first
We
to
had the first one, yeah.
I didn't get to play through it the whole way. So, but I'm real pumped for God of War to come out next year, the new one.
Yeah,
And
2018
I
God
want
of
to
War
get.
looks so good.
It looks so good, and so I wanted to get caught up and at least get through the third one before then. Plus, it was only like $15. Like, how can you go wrong for that price with that kind of a game?
Cool, man. God of War.
Yeah.
I played. I think I played 1 and 2, and
Yeah.
they're fine games. They're over the top, ridiculous, kind of dumb fun. You know, like they don't ask a lot of you. You're just kind of slashing through hordes of enemies,
Yep.
and getting new weapons and new powers and stuff.
But what's great about them is they are like the absolute smoothest games. There's never any real issues with the gameplay in these games. They're so well done.
I remember the first one kind of like setting off the trend in QuickTime events.
Yeah.
Like the first God of War was the game that really kind of made those popular.
Yep, it seems a little bit antiquated now. The way that
It's not a trend that I loved. Even then, it's just like, okay, like it was really cool here, but do we need to keep making these?
Yeah. The whole like slash a bunch of dudes, do quick time events, and collect different colored orbs. It kind of had its time, I think, and has gone mostly away. I'm curious how that gameplay loop will look in the new
one.
reimagined reboot of God of War. I'm kind of excited for that because those are the parts that I don't feel like aged as well.
It feels like with this game, it works, but then that was kind of what this game was, so it feels like it fits. But I agree that like QuickTime events in other games doesn't feel right. It feels shoehorned in. Whereas this game, I always felt like they had a good flow between what was gameplay and what was cutscene. Especially like the first game was one of the first games I remember where like the cutscenes would you'd go through the cutscene and then it would flow right into the gameplay and it was almost seamless.
Yeah.
It wasn't terribly done. Like what was it? The Lord of the Rings
load
games
screen.
were terrible. Yeah.
Yeah, this does a really good job of like you're running along, and then all of a sudden, the world that you're walking on comes alive, and it's this giant, and it starts moving around, and like that all just kind of flows together pretty perfectly. It's cool. That's good, man. I'm glad you're getting to play through it. Seems like that was a real good purchase. You're gonna have a lot of stuff to play.
Oh,
on the PS4,
yeah, and that's the thing. That's the thing is I'm looking forward to. I was looking forward to Detroit Become Human. I'm looking forward to the new Spider-Man game, new God of War. There's just so much, and then there's so much that's come out already. Last of Us is something that I want. I didn't get to pick up a copy of that.
Yeah,
but
I think you'll like Uncharted too.
Yep. I was playing a little bit of Uncharted at my brother's house tonight, actually, before we went out, and it's real good. That game takes cinematics to a whole new level. Mm-hmm. It's so good. One thing I am slightly disappointed with, though, with the PlayStation, is the build quality doesn't seem as good as my Xbox. It's the disk drive is loud, like exceedingly loud, to the point where it sounds like things might be grinding. So I don't know if maybe I have a bad console or something. But
which version did you get? Did you just get the?
I got the Slim.
The plain Jane. Oh, the Slim.
Yeah, the 1 terabyte Slim.
Okay.
And the the console itself, when I insert a disc, when I did it for the first time, I went, "Whoa, that is really loud." I wanted to make sure I wasn't crazy, so I threw a disc in my Xbox, and it is just way louder. Sound like you can really hear the gears all moving together and stuff. It's just kind of
It is louder, yeah.
off-putting it a bit. And then the controller. Now, I will. Full
That's right. You've got a
disclosure.
problem with how the thumbsticks are positioned, right?
It's not that as much. Full disclosure, I do use the Elite controller on the Xbox, so I'm using a very
You are a
expensive
bastard.
high-end
Yeah.
controller.
Mhm. Yep.
But the PlayStation controller, like especially the trigger buttons and the bumper buttons, they feel cheap, like chintzy, like they're
Yeah.
really not
I've never-
put together quite as well.
I've
I
never
don't
been
know.
a fan of the DualShock controllers, but
and
that's just me.
I am not a fan of the main thumbstick that you use. You have to like move your hand out of its natural resting position to go and hit it. I'm not a fan of that, but it's something I'll get used to.
It's
Plus, what the fuck is a square and a triangle? Doesn't make any sense.
they're symbols.
Give me letters or give me death.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go. Aaron Kring, everybody, hates symbols and shapes. Man, hey Brian.
Hey, man.
Ooh boy, this one I've been
got a
excited to
few.
hear about. Yeah. You got a few. We need to start knocking these down. What is Deep Sky Derelicts?
Deep Sky Derelicts is a game that just went into early access on Steam. Like immediately, it looked like Darkest Dungeon in space.
So
To
you
me?
threw money at it quicker than
So I
anything
threw money at
ever.
Yep, it was billed as like you've got dungeons you explore, and it's turn-based combat. The art is a lot like Darkest Dungeon, and it's like Card Hunter in that when you equip gear, you get new cards in your deck, and you use the cards, each round in combat. So changing your gear changes the cards in your deck,
Okay.
and I like that a lot. So that was all. Yep, all that made me want to buy it.
So what do you? How does it make you feel? What is it something you're gonna stick with?
Yeah, it's early access, and there's not a lot there right now.
Okay.
Start off the game, you get like 3 or 4 missions, and then there are, I think, 3 different like planets to go explore. And then like that's it. Like I finished those missions and those planets, and then there was just nothing else to do.
Oh wow.
It took me a good, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 hours. And then I'm just like, okay, well, I like what I've played so far. They just need to do more of it. As far as the Darkest Dungeon thing goes, the combat isn't really like Darkest Dungeon. Like, in that game, everyone's lined up from front to back, and like where you are in line matters a lot
Yeah.
as far as
Positioning.
which skills you can use. Yeah, and this is more just like a standard RPG where everyone's just kind of there and taking their turns.
Okay. Man, the art style is fucking dead on Darkest
Yeah,
Dungeon.
Yep.
It's interesting.
You expend energy to explore the dungeons. Like each like square you step on is 1 energy, and it kind of looks like Minesweeper, like a Minesweeper. Like it's just a grid, and you're just clicking into empty squares on the grid to see if there's anything there.
Gotcha.
Which really sucks. It's that part's just kind of boring, and you're spending energy, and that feels like an upkeep that doesn't need to be there. So I'm hoping they,
I know in
they
Darkest
listen to
Dungeon.
feedback and tighten some
Yeah.
of that stuff up, because
In-
that stuff's not great.
In Darkest Dungeon, it's like when you're going through the grid, you're not worried about managing necessarily energy, but you do have to consider your party's sanity. You have it's
Yeah,
more
food.
interesting. It's more food. You're like, if I walk into a room and it's just a total shit show, I might not be able to handle it, and I'll fail the mission and lose my guys. There's like actual interesting decisions that
Yeah.
you're having to make there, and it's not just like, well, I don't have any energy left, I guess I screwed the pooch.
Yep, you got to save enough energy to get back to the entrance to leave and go back to your base and get more, energy pods and refuel, and that just kind of feels like just kind of like a dull upkeep.
Gotcha.
But there's some cool stuff here.
yeah, it looks different enough to warrant doing more, exploring that further. So that's cool, man. I hope they add a whole bunch to it.
Yeah.
Make it worth your time. Good stuff. How's the music in it? Does it have music?
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's what you would expect sci-fi dungeon music to sound like.
All right. That's pretty good. Hey, since we already brought it up, let's just talk just briefly about Stardew Valley, since we're still playing it like crazy. I'm to a point now where I'm like making probably 20,000 gold a day or more most days.
Holy
Like
Tyler.
I have quite a farm. I've got a lot of animals, and it's not every day, but like once you get the greenhouse going, like I completed the community center. I've got kegs everywhere making wine. I just got a cellar in my house. Like there's all kinds of upgrades that I've made, and it's to the point now where like the day, like I wake up and it takes me until about noon or 1 o'clock to just like feed all the chickens and get their eggs and turn the stuff into wool, and like by then I'm like, shit, I don't have much day left. So
I love your setup though. Holy crap.
Oh, thanks.
I was gonna tell you thank you for the idea of putting the mayonnaise right with the chickens and the
just
cheesemakers right with the cow. Oh, it's so easy.
Yeah. Yep. You just
I'm on my
milk them
third
and
farm.
throw the milk right into the cheesemakers and.
Yep.
So Tyler, you're saying that Tyler misses true calling and he should have been a farmer?
I'm pretty good at Stardew Valley apparently.
I don't know, the FDA ain't gonna like where you put your cheese making machines and mayonnaise machines.
That's true. Someone
I'm glad I'm not the
probably
only one that puts like light around town though.
Oh well, yeah, I did that, but apparently that goes away like a day or two after, because my I put a nice little lamppost there and it was fucking gone the next day, and I was like, oh, that sucks.
Don't have permits.
Yeah.
I put torches up and I've never seen them leave.
Oh, maybe I'll try those then, because I put a nice lamppost.
Torches don't have copper wires in them.
The lampposts look better though.
Yeah, but
Mayor Lewis came by and was like, "What is this shit?" And he just tore it right down.
I don't think it was, dude. I think people are stealing it for scrap, and then they go and scrap it. Like
Linus, son of a bitch.
Yep.
The times is hard in the Stardew Valley, guys.
I gotta
do whatever you can.
I gotta check Linus's tent. Probably.
I can't wait for it to get more stuff for this. Did you see the boat that they're gonna put in more content?
Oh really? No, I haven't seen that.
It was just like a single teaser image of a boat
down by the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, yeah, I'd be way into it. Once again, just tell me 2 years ago or whenever this game came out last year, I guess, that I would be this into Stardew Valley, and I told you you're crazy because I just didn't see it. But I'm really liking it.
Turns out that Tyler's the one that's crazy.
Yeah, I'm crazy about Stardew.
In this group, you're in the minority there, Kring. So.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
you're the crazy
that's
one.
What I meant crazy about Stardew. I meant like the way Tyler put it. Whatever, Brian. You guys like your Stardew Valley. That's fine.
Kring,
I'm sure that
drunk.
I would get into it if I would ever get into a farming game.
You're drunk.
You're drunk.
Yeah, man, it's good. It's good times. So check it out. Get after it. Play more Stardew because I'm gonna be.
Mm-hmm.
Brian, we need another Brian game in here. Cause hey, what about that Pocket Camp Animal Crossing? Speaking of farming and towns and stuff, what about
tell me
that?
about this, Brian. I didn't know this was a thing.
Yeah, you can download it today. I have it
Yeah,
on my phone.
Nintendo finally released it. It's exactly what I would expect from a mobile phone Animal Crossing game. It's a very slight version of Animal Crossing. Instead of having a town that you can just walk around in, like it's a campsite, and you kind of like teleport to the different campers to talk to them, and you've got villagers there that are asking for favors to be done, and then if you befriend them, you can get them to move back to your campsite. you're catching bugs, you're fishing, you're crafting like new furniture and things to outfit your campsite with. It's free to play. None of the paid elements seem to be icky so far.
Mhm.
Like there's this like premium currency. I think they're leaf tickets.
Yeah.
And there's stuff you can only buy with the premium currency, but I earned enough to buy what I wanted so far, just playing it for a couple of days. So
That
I
feels
don't know
right.
if that'll change when you get into higher levels or what, but so far it's fun to pick up and play for 10 minutes here and 10 minutes there.
What drives you to play the game? Is it like, are you unlocking things, or is it just a fun world to be in, or?
It's a fun world to be in. It's missing some of my favorite parts of Animal Crossing, so it's not a replacement. It's not like, oh, good, new Animal Crossing game. It's more like, can't wait for a proper one on the Switch someday.
It's funny because that's kind of, I mean, I know I'm in the minority in that I actually liked the Mario Run game, but it's a similar idea. They pared it down, they made it a very mobile experience, and they're not trying to. Looks like it feels like Nintendo's trying very hard not to step on their own toes. They're not trying to give people a way to play their games for free. It's just kind of like, hey, remember Animal Crossing? Remember that's a thing?
Yeah,
Here's a
I
taste.
can't see anyone just getting this and being like, well, don't need to buy the full game now.
Right.
Like, it's not a replacement.
Does it feel though, Brian? Because I thought that I liked the Mario Run not as much as Tyler did. Tyler got obsessed with it for a while, but I really liked
Can
Mario
confirm.
Run as well.
Thank you.
And I felt like Mario Run was a Mario game, but a fantastic mobile game. Like it really captured what a mobile game should be. Does this do the same thing where it's like a meh for an Animal Crossing game, but is a really, really, really good mobile game?
Yeah, that seems fair. It's a nice way to kill 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It's a cute world if you like this art style. And
It scratches the itch for Animal Crossing. I am playing that one as well right now. I like that. I mean, you have different islands where there's more fruit on some islands. My only gripe is the islands aren't very big.
No.
There's not enough stuff, but you can pick fruit. There's one that has more bugs, and you fulfill orders for people to gain friendship. And there comes a time where they're done. Like, you fulfilled my last one for the day, so then you're kind of,
you can't just play it and play it and play it. You can't really binge it.
Isn't that kind of
If
how
you
Animal
like
Crossing
decorating.
works?
What's that?
Wasn't that true of the regular Animal
Yes.
Crossing games too?
Yeah.
Like you'd kind of like have to come back to it later because there would be kind of like, it wasn't as in your face as like, hey, this tree's got 9 hours before fruit's going to show up
Right.
again. But like there was kind of built-in timers like that. with
Yep,
those
you've
games.
harvested it. It's done for the day.
Right.
Yeah, these are like 3 hours.
If you like decorating your campsite, you'd probably have a lot of fun with this because there's a lot of different furniture to craft, and
Yeah, now that I
you
understand
can
it.
customize your campsite.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. Hey, and it's free. So if you got a mobile device, just get after some Animal Crossing.
Mm-hmm.
I might check it out just to find out what that world's about because I've never been interested in Animal Crossing at all, and like going out and just buying a cartridge is a bigger ask. So
Tyler,
doing it on my phone might be.
You never really played an Animal Crossing? Well, I guess
you
probably
weren't
never touched
interested
it
in
on the-
Stardew.
Right, I know. That's why I'm like. Hey, this might be a good way to just kind of see if I can care about this universe at all.
Did that one just kind of roll off you on the GameCube?
What's that?
Animal Crossing. Did that just kind of pass you by on the GameCube?
Yeah, I had no interest in it when I owned a GameCube at all.
Gotcha.
I mean, I was in my teens when I had a GameCube, and
Animal Crossing
was not something that looked cool at all. So I was like, oh, that's a kid's game for sure. And
Tyler had a
didn't-
reputation.
Yeah, I mean, I was pretty.
You were playing
cool.
Darksiders.
Not on the GameCube, Brian, but yeah.
Not on the GameCube.
All right. So, hey, man, let's both talk about Hellblade because
Oh,
holy shit.
Yeah, both of you talk about Hellblade because you guys have been going on about it all day, and I don't know what it is.
Okay, well, Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice is a game it's a game. I think it's a game. It isn't.
It's a game.
It's not really fun. It's not so much fun. It's
It's a video game.
it's beautiful. It's
Oh my god!
Holy cow.
it's a stunning looking game. The character model, the hair effects again,
It's an experience.
everything.
For sure.
The environment is a very immersive thing, but right from the get go, you get the feeling that something is very wrong. She has a lot of mental disturbances about her. And
Think
Hears
she's crazy.
voices. She has auditory, hallucinations. She
visual
sees
hallucinations.
things.
Yep.
So she's crazy.
Yeah, and sure, yep. I would say that she's one of the more interesting characters that I've played. Period. The way
That pouch on her hip is her husband's head in that pouch.
Oh boy. Okay.
and
Yeah,
she,
this sounds like
She's seen some shit.
she talks to it. She's
Okay.
going. It takes place in like a Norse,
It's Wilson.
a Norse world. There's lots of like standing runic stones and stuff that you find that will give you kind of background about the different Norse gods and the mythology around that. But man, it's hard to recommend it, but I feel like everyone should play it. But you have to really be ready for like a harrowing experience.
Yeah,
'Cause,
it's very immersive. Like I know the one thing that Tyler hates is a lot of cluttered UI in his games. This has none. Like there is no UI at all.
Yep, you don't know what your health is. It doesn't tell you what your attacks are. There's no, it's all visual effects and things like that on the screen. But it's a game you want to play with headphones on because the audio design is, I mean, so she hears voices, like multiple voices, and they're all done by different voice actors, and most of them talking over top of each other. So you'll be climbing, like here you're climbing up a ladder, and you're hearing, "What is she doing? Why is she doing that?
Right.
She should just turn around. She can't do this. What are you doing?" And
He's dead.
like,
She can't save him.
constantly those voices are going, and it's like you're trying to balance yourself across the beam, and they're telling you about how you can't do this, or it looks like she's gonna do it, maybe she can do it. And it's so disturbing because it's happening all around you. There was multiple times where I would like turn around because I could swear there was somebody behind me, even though I knew it was, just the game voices.
This sounds stressful.
It is, and that's why I said I've kind of like had a hard time like recommending it and telling people like go out and play it because
It should be experience. It's an experience. It's not a fun video game to sit down and play, but
we were getting into that discussion briefly earlier in the week about how games can be not fun and still be worth playing. And that maybe playing isn't the right word. Like there is combat, there's exploration, but
there are puzzles.
The whole while you just feel
Miserable?
uneasy. You feel disturbed. You feel like out of place. And like here's a perfect example. The first thing you encounter is this big iron gate, and in order to unlock it, I'm using air quotes because it isn't locked. Spoilers.
You have to pay $2.99.
No, she sees these runes on the gate, and in order to unlock it, she has to go find those runes somewhere in the world. So it might be a tree that's shaped really weird, and like when you look at it at the right angle, it makes the same rune that you saw on those doors. So that is your key for that door. And then you go back to the door and just push it right open. And I realized pretty early on, like, okay, she's hallucinating. There's not runes there. The door is unlocked. I can see that there's nothing blocking it. And so I went up to just try to make her push it open, and all the voices got super angry. Like this red distortion came up on the screen. Like,
Wow.
it's very clearly telling you, like, yeah, you or I could go and open that door, but she can't. Like, her brain is not letting her. It's crazy. It's something really neat.
And what's being lost in like just the video here is how good the voice acting and the sounds are.
Yeah, it's something.
Now,
special.
this is the one that they did studies on and
Yeah.
followed people, correct? Like, this is they actually research people
Right,
with
like they had someone
schizophrenia.
on staff whose job was, to make sure that they handled this stuff properly.
And I think for the most part they do. I've read some criticism that it's, they've gamified it to an extent, and sorry everyone, but yeah, it is a game. You're still playing a video game. But it does kind of, I think its message is that this stuff is real to the person experiencing it.
Mhm.
Like
Well, you saw the outpouring, didn't you, of people saying, I don't know, it's video we watched on it was, people thanking the game designers for creating this game because it finally showed a way they could explain themselves to other people.
Right.
Do we know why they made this one? Was it for that reason, or was this like a?
Sure, it's someone who had a story to tell, or had
It seems like a very
Had a passion.
experimental way to make a game.
I mean, it's successful. It's again, I don't like it. Enjoyable isn't the right word to say, but I feel very compelled to play the
Well,
game. Like I want to
like
see
you
it
can
through.
look at movies and music and say the same thing. There are
Yeah.
a lot of great
Yeah.
movies that aren't fun, and there's some great music that isn't fun,
But it's got a story to tell, and it's definitely worthwhile. And that's how I feel about this too. Like I last night I was playing super late, and I got through 2 different like paths that you go down, without spoiling too much. And I just like I got to a point where like, okay, I think I need to just set this down. I don't think I can go any further because I
played for
was
about
kinda
an hour.
overwhelmed.
I don't think I couldn't do this for hours at a stretch.
And I was like, I'm definitely gonna have dreams about this tonight when I went to bed. Like, I'm just like, as long as I don't wake up hearing voices, I think I'll be okay. And luckily, that wasn't the case. So, yeah, it's Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice. I'm excited to see how it ends. I want to see it through. I hope that it has some kind of happy ending, but I'm not anticipating that. I hope that there's something there to
Some sort of payoff.
yeah. Oh, one thing I wanted to bring up is there was some controversy about a thing that happens really early in the game. You get to a point where she's also seeing like this darkness. That's what she's trying to stop, is the spread of this darkness. And
It's like rot on her, right?
yeah,
It starts on her right hand.
whenever she fails, you see like this black, looks like vines, but it's inside of her skin. You see this black sickness crawling up her arm, and they tell you very early on that if she fails too many times, that the rot will reach her brain and her journey will be done. She won't be able to go on, and effectively telling you like your save will get deleted. You'll have to start over. And a lot of people found out that doesn't actually happen, but I think
Some people were all up in arms over it too, and it just seems like one more thing for the internet to ruin. Like,
yeah,
I think that's a really cool way to add to the tension
right
in the game, to make you think like if you fuck it up too badly, then you're just done.
Right. And again, I think it plays into this whole narrative that it doesn't really matter if that's true or not. The character believes that.
You believe it's true.
That's the whole arc. So, I don't know. I'm glad I tried it, and I'm going to finish it.
Yeah, like once you got past the first 2 areas, you played for 5 or 6 hours and finished it. And it's about as long as I was thinking it was. I think it's like a 7 or 8 hour game, maybe.
Tears at the end. Now I don't want to play this one.
But man, I mean, everything about it is engaging. Is I think the word I would use. The combat I even kind of like. Like I thought I was gonna not dig the combat, and it is pretty basic. You've got quick attack, heavy attack, dodge, block.
I know, Rob.
But it's real good. It's real good. So yeah, check that out, guys. That's my recommendation for the week, I guess.
I'll be playing it this week, hopefully.
I thought my top 10 was all locked down, but
Ooh.
I got a couple of new contenders.
Speaking of which, hey, how about that Prey, Brian?
Yeah.
Do I need to walk away?
No, I don't think so.
Prey looks like...
Yeah, I played the demo. It was probably around May or April. They came out with a demo for it when when they released it. I remember saying that it seems decent, but I would come back to it when it's around $20, and it's around $20, so I picked it up.
Brian is nothing if not a man of his word.
Right.
Nope. It feels very much like a BioShock game. Like,
in a good way.
right down to like there are audio recordings that you find and a lot of notes to find and read in the world.
Oh, okay.
And like even looking at the interface, like you're carrying a wrench, like you can switch between a gun and a wrench to clobber things with.
Wow.
There's some light crafting elements so far.
Sounds very much like BioShock.
BioShock, and it looked like BioShock too.
Yep.
Like I thought I was looking at it. I'm like, are we in Rapture? Like, what is this?
There's gonna be a lighthouse out there in space, and you're gonna. Yep.
It's more outer space once again.
Outer space with no lighthouse.
That thing looks not happy. Darkness monster on fire.
So yeah, it's this like science lab where I don't want to spoil anything, but shit has gone wrong.
Really?
Yeah, the bad guys remind me of like the movie Alien. Like they're just these like, I don't know, like fucking tentacle monsters that skitter and move real fast, and you think you see them out of the corner of your eye. And they can morph, so they turn into objects, and you'll be in a room, and all of a sudden the fucking coffee cup will jump off the desk and attack you. And I spent a lot of time in this game just entering a new room and standing there and staring and like, okay, is anything out of place? I'll see like a chair wobble a little bit or something. And it's like I'll go crack the chair with the wrench and it'll fall over. It's like, oh, okay.
Paranoia.
I'm not crazy.
It's just drafty.
You're crazy.
Yep, that's cool. So it kind of lands the atmosphere, and seems like a BioShock game.
It seems like a BioShock.
That all seems good.
And they talk up like solving puzzles your own way. Like you've got a glue gun that shoots gobs of glue that you can like climb up on.
Oh, cool.
So there's some freedom in how you get around and how you solve puzzles.
Man, I'm gonna add another one to my list of things that I need to play before the end of the year. Awesome.
Yep, and I just set the difficulty to easy, and I've been enjoying it that way. Like
that's cool.
I've kind of learned that these kind of games, these shooters, I don't particularly enjoy that kind of gameplay, and I don't pride myself on being good at that. So it's like I'm just going to make it as easy as I can and just enjoy the story and enjoy the environments.
That's what I did with BioShock, and I enjoyed it so much more because I like BioShock story was amazing. So I'm hoping this will be too.
So yeah, this is the other one that I thought this might sneak into my top 10 for the year.
Wow,
it's nice to play one of these again.
That is cool, man. Cream, you're back.
I never left.
Okay. Hey, you want to talk about Cuphead?
Sure I do.
Okay, talk about Cuphead.
Well, you guys remember a few weeks ago when I said that I had gotten through all of Cuphead I was ever going to get through, and I was probably never going to play it again?
Yeah, I remember that.
I saw credits.
Nice. All right.
So, it turns out I'm a lot better at Cuphead than I thought I was, and I had a session that I played a couple of weeks ago, and I was starting to get through some stuff, and I was like, I might be able to do this. So I kept at it, and it's weird because I started to unlock some of the other, like, not weapons but other abilities in the game, and started playing with those as well, and found that the game got way easier when you were not just using the weapons, when you were also using the abilities. And
so it's like you fight a boss, and then you change up like your abilities based on what that boss does.
Yeah. So like some of them there's one where you can gain an extra heart, but you will damage will be decreased slightly. There's another one where your special meter fills up all the time, regardless of whether or not you're hitting the enemies. There's a few others that there's one where your dash, you become invisible and you cannot be hit when you're doing your dash move. So that's really good for like
That
trying
one
to get
seems
through,
real good.
trying to get through enemies. Yeah,
That same
So I
ability
started-
is in Hollow Knight, and once I got that, I was like, oh yeah, I'm using that all the time.
So I started playing around with those, and started going back through some of the levels, and I got to the Dice Man at the end there, and he's a real pain in the ass. That was actually a really cool section of the game, because what it is, you have this like grid of numbers. I think there's 1 through, I want to say like 15 or something like that. But then there's also these safe spaces. So then you get to roll a die that has the numbers 1, 2, and 3 on it. And that's the number of spaces that you move along this little row of numbers. And whatever you land on is the boss that you have to fight. Or you can land on the safe space, and then you don't have to fight a boss at all. Some of the bosses will have an extra hit point, so you will land on that space, get an extra hit point, and then go to fight the boss. And that's randomized every time that you start over. But you have as many hit points as you've got. If you die on any of the bosses, you have to completely restart the whole thing all over again, which was punishing, but not. It didn't feel like that bad, because again, this is a thing where these bosses, they don't take very long. First thing, they're not full-fledged bosses like the rest of them. They're just kind of
Mini bosses.
mini bosses more than anything. So like most of those fights are only taking 45 seconds maybe. So, you know, and I, on the run that I succeeded on, I ended up only having to do like 4 or 5 boss fights. So in total, it only takes a few minutes. So if you die, you don't have that much extra to do.
Not the end of the world.
And you're right back in it. And that's the good thing about Cuphead, is when you lose,
Right.
you're right back
Yep.
where you were.
And that's the thing. That's the thing that kept me going, kept me driving towards succeeding at this game. Is that every time I would die, I would, be able to just go right back into it, or you can quickly get out to the map, switch around your items or your weapons, and get right back in there. And there's no like cutscenes or anything that you got to watch. It's real good. So
you beat all the bosses on regular mode, and
beat all the bosses on regular mode, and then beat the Dice Man, and then I went to fight the devil, and it actually asks you, whether or not you want to join him, and you get the choice, yes or no. I chose yes, and credits rolled.
All right.
It shows Cuphead and Mugman all evil, and like they're fighting with the devil, like they're siding with him, and they're going to do his bidding for all eternity. And then credits roll, and then I shut the game off. I saw credits. I'm done.
All right. Well, there you go.
So it wasn't. It was the easy way out at the end there. But
I feel like we could have just done that at the onset and just been like, okay,
Right. Yeah.
yeah,
save
I'm with you
yourself the
guys.
trouble.
So I probably will go back and fight the devil, but this was I think what was this, Wednesday night that I got to this point, and then Thursday I bought my PlayStation.
And now you have a PS4, so
It's like I've been trying to get through some of the stuff that I have. I was playing a little bit of South Park earlier this week too, trying to get through some stuff. But now that I have this PlayStation, like anything that's unfinished is going to sit on the back burner for a while. So I'll probably go back to it and actually fight the devil and try to beat him. But for now, I'm satisfied that I've gotten a lot further than I ever thought I would playing this game.
where do you think this thing falls for you? Like, out of the games you've played this year, is this one towards the top?
Oh yeah, for sure. It's especially from a design standpoint, this game is right up there with the best of them for the year. It's just so well done. Everything from the music to the sound effects to the art style was just nailed perfectly. And especially when you think about the fact that this game was done by just a handful of people, it's even more impressive how well done this game is.
Good stuff, man.
I only ever got one glitch, like I talked about last time. That was the only glitch I've gotten in the entirety of the game. So I feel like I've got 15 hours into this game. It only ever hiccuped on me once, and it's this indie title that took 10 years to make because it was just a handful of people working on it. Like that's something that AAA studios can't even match.
Agreed. This is my game game of the year checklist now includes Cuphead, Prey. I think there's a few others. Nier is on my hope list that I can play that before the end of the year. And we've only got
I'm on the
3 weeks.
get Tyler
maybe?
to play Nier committee. That's
Yep.
got a month.
I gotta check a few of these off my list every week here. Kat, you played something called Dyscourse. What is Dyscourse?
Oh, it's
It's not a
Kinda
game. It's what?
kind of like a choose your own adventure type. Your choices change how the game works,
Okay.
but the art style's kind of hard to describe. It's almost like a, I don't know, puppet, like
Like a
I don't
puppet
know.
show?
paper character.
Okay.
So essentially, there's been a plane crash, and
Is this
your main character is Rita, and you have to go about the island and figure out what the heck you're gonna do. And I've played through it twice now because I wanted to see. I wanted to make completely different choices, and then I did the first game to see how things would change. Oh, it's awesome! I found completely different areas, so the replayability of this one's pretty neat.
It was what, like an hour or so?
Yeah, it took me maybe
Good.
2 hours each playthrough.
Yeah, it's pretty short. But you have what, like 6 survivors, and you've got different problems and different personality traits.
Yeah, so the first time I had 3 survivors out of the 6. And so the second time I'm like, oh, I'm going to make completely different choices. I'm going to save as many people as I can this time. Me and one other person survived.
That's cool. It looks like a pop-up book. That's kind of what it reminds
Yeah.
me of. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
cool.
exactly what it looks like.
See, I thought it looked like it looked very similar to Guacamelee
Yeah, I can see
in
that.
its art style.
Little
So I
bit.
looked up the developer to see if it was the same developer. Guess what this company has also developed?
What's that?
The company that made this game also did the Rick and Morty VR game.
Huh.
So there you go.
That's
That doesn't mean
funny.
anything. It's just a thing.
Yeah.
Just some trivia. There you go.
So
Thank you
no
for
surprise
that.
here, but I sympathized with the D&D guy, the nerdy guy. He was the one I think I saved each game. There's like the hopeless guy who works in corporate, and then there's the
Checks out.
and then there's the conspiracy theorist guy, and then there's a husband and wife team.
We don't let him vote when there's votes that show up. Yeah, got it.
No, he's a little crazy. But yeah, I find it neat that, I mean, depending on who you go with, what choices you make, you have to ration food, you have to find water. You literally find different areas. So I might play it again just to see what different areas I come across.
That's cool. Attack crabs with frying pan. Good choice. Good
Yeah.
choice.
I thought that would work, and it didn't.
That's cool. You always find these neat little games that I've never heard
My
of.
husband's
and-
fault. It's his fault.
Yep, I
He's
played
like,
this one a
"Play
couple
this
years
one."
ago.
Gotcha. Cool.
He knows me
Good
too well.
Hey, speaking of games that aren't exactly new, Brian, we played some Doom this week.
We did play
Like-
some Doom.
Oh my god.
Original Doom?
No.
Like id Software from like 1991 Doom?
2016's Doom. I've been wanting to play this game so bad, and Brian was gracious enough to gift me a copy of it. Because it went like dirt cheap
Aw.
on
Black Friday.
Black Friday, yeah.
Brian, you're such a swell fella.
Yeah, and the cool thing is, because he's my fam, You got to play it too. But yeah,
So since I'm your fam, I get to play it too.
yeah,
I spent 4 hours downloading it today.
yeah. It's a big game. It's, what'd you say, like 59 gigs almost?
58 gig, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I almost, you know what? I'm gonna skip ahead. I'm gonna skip ahead because the first 5 minutes of this Doom game,
It's pretty cool.
If you played, even if you didn't, like the first 5 minutes are fucking awesome. And I don't want to spoil that because that feels like a spoiler. So I skipped ahead.
It's all going to land differently for you than it will for me for many reasons. Like, I never played original Doom. I don't like first-person shooters. This isn't my kind of game, even a little bit. But like, enough people have praised it that I'm curious. I'll try it.
I want to try it.
We're both big fans of Giant Bomb, and they had a really hard time not making this their game of the year last year. And I am somebody who loves Doom. Like, I played the shit out of the original Doom back on my PC when I was probably 7 or 8 years old, 9 years old maybe.
Inappropriate, Tyler.
I was lucky enough to have a computer, and my dad,
Back at the
bought
time when
games
parents
for
didn't
it,
care
and-
what their kids were playing.
Yeah, I don't know. My dad just like, hey, he would ask people, what are good games, and I had Doom and Wolfenstein 3D and all kinds of stuff that I shouldn't have been playing at that age, but I did.
Cool kids.
But I did, and this game is just like, so far I've played just the first level, and it's a like nostalgia trip. It's a perfect recreation of the feel of that game. It's doing everything right. So the music is just full on. They like scored it with this just death metal, like in your face, gut busting fucking music, and it's great. So like you open a door, see all these zombies, you get the first shot off on them, and all of a sudden it's just double bass and cymbals and just crazy guitars and shit. And I love it. You're grabbing demons by the jaw and ripping it off of them, and
Yep, and the glory kill system is pretty cool. Like,
yeah,
when you get a demon near death, you like run up and melee them, and that makes them drop a health pack. And I think, like, I got a chainsaw, and chainsaw kills make them drop extra ammo. So you've got to do some like specific kind of kills to, keep your health and ammo up. And the chainsaw is real fucking fun. Like, just cutting them things in half. Yeah.
What weapon are you using here? I like that one. It's like
It looks like a shotgun.
Yeah, the shotgun.
Tearing holes and everything.
Yep.
And there's kind of like there's a rhythm to the combat.
Are there swords?
I
There's
don't
a chainsaw.
know. There's a chainsaw. It's close
Swords.
enough.
Basically a sword.
But yeah, you can use the glory kills as kind of a way to move about the world too. Like, there's been times where I'll weaken a guy who's up on a ledge, and instead of trying to mantle up to it, I'll get close enough to where I can do the glory kill, and you'll kind of like lunge to him. There's been like dudes that are down below me, so I'll shoot them a few times, get them weak enough, and then jump down and just stomp them. It feels so good, just the way you're moving through this world. Like, kicked that guy off a ledge, just man.
Yeah.
And
this is another one
very
that
good.
I'm not good at, so I just put it on easy and I just blast through everything.
Yeah.
Brian,
There's different levels.
Yeah.
Okay.
Brian, I'm pretty good at the God of War games, and even I'm playing that on easy. There's no shame in playing on easy for the story.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm there with you now. I always kind of felt weird. I'm just like, I shouldn't play on easy. I should be playing on normal or hard.
Yeah, that's how I always felt too. I'm like,
Fuck
no,
that.
I don't need to play on easy. I'm better than this. And then
I'm playing on normal just because I enjoy shooters a lot, and I want
Right.
I want a little bit of challenge in it. I died once.
If it
in
were
the
an
first
RPG
level,
or
but-
something, I wouldn't put it on easy. But
Yeah.
this isn't my jam. So.
Yeah. I'm really digging it though. Like, I will play this through. There's no question about it. And we have a category coming up for our Game of the Year stuff that is best old game, like best game that was new to you kind of thing.
Non 2017.
This is going to be a strong contender for that. So
Tyler,
For
didn't
me.
you call this Lamb of God the game?
yeah, and that's not it's not inaccurate. You feel like they really nail the feel of just being this like the Space Marine Gladiator guy, like better than I think the Halo games do, because this is
Okay, so
Yeah, like they lean
Blasphemy.
into it. I like that they lean into it. They're
Yeah.
not shy about it. They're like, nope, we're gonna crank some death metal, and you're gonna just have fucking blood flying in the air and explosions, and we don't give a shit.
I had a part in Halo, and it just pissed me off, and I think I'll try this instead.
yeah, there's enough depth to it. Like you get to choose from different weapon upgrades and modifications and things.
Yeah, when you get the weapon mod from the drone, and you fucking punch the drone when you're done.
Yeah. They've tried to create some lore around the Doom guy, which is interesting because it's just a faceless Marine, but they've actually put some thought into where that comes from. Again, that's kind of you get to see that within the first 5 minutes of the game, and
Yeah, the opening.
there's a good
The
payoff
opening's
from
pretty
that. So yeah, I'm stoked. This is another one that I was waiting for it to get real cheap, and then I still was like, yeah, I don't know. And then I Brian picked it up for me, so I can't, and now I feel stupid that I've waited this long to play it because I love it. So yeah,
See,
you go.
Doom was never a thing that I played, and I played Doom 3 on the original
Doom 3
Xbox,
sucked.
and it was garbage.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've played the original Doom game, but like, it's different playing it 30 years after it came out or 20
Yeah.
years after it came out than when it was originally there. So it's not something I ever was. I don't have the same nostalgia, but this looks good.
Yeah,
I don't have any nostalgia for it, and I played it for more than 5 minutes, Kring, so I'm sure you will love it.
it's
Like I played this for a couple of hours today.
More
and
than
I don't
5
like shooters.
minutes. This is Brian's game of the year.
It does say a lot about it because most shooters you bounce right off of, but here you are playing Prey and Doom, 2017.
Most shooters, if this was any other shooter, Brian would have seen 58 gigs and just shut his computer down and been like, nope.
Maybe.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, it does. I don't know. It's ticking all the boxes. It does feel like a throwback. There's some nostalgia just in the style of game too. Like, you're running around picking up armor and health,
Walking over
and
power-ups to pick them up.
walking over ammo, and it's just hordes of enemies, and you get to checkpoints. You get to the end of a level, and it's a hard stop. Like, you can save and exit or continue. Like, those things I thought would not be something I wanted, but I'm actually really glad they're here. It just feels, it has that feeling of like, man, okay, I got a breather. I got through that level. I can collect
Well, they kept
myself.
the feel of it, and they
keep
modernized
going.
it.
Yeah. It's just,
Aww,
you don't
what's
see that very often.
that?
There's little collectibles that you can find that are like, they're like little pop figures. They're like, yeah, a little cute Doom guy. That was the first one I found. I guess they're just littered all throughout the game. So
What's funny is Tyler saw a cute little dolly, and his first instinct was to throw a grenade at it.
did you catch that? Yeah, I was like,
Yeah, I
don't know
did.
what
I
this
saw
is.
you. I saw you try to blow it up, kill it with fire.
I don't know what that is. Let's throw a fucking grenade at it, see what happens. Oh, it's just a little doll. Okay. Yeah, most things in the Doom universe are not your friends. There's not a lot of things that
There's not a lot
aren't
of
demons. So
There's not a lot of things that don't get killed with grenades.
I'm using a controller. I should use a mouse and keyboard. Like,
oh yeah.
it's easier for me to move with a controller, and it's easier for me to shoot with a mouse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It sucks.
Yeah, I have mouse and keyboard this bad boy because you've got demons in all different directions. I'm usually not that pretentious about that. Like, if you want to play a shooter with a controller, that's fine. I do it
You
sometimes.
can flick
too,
the mouse
but
a lot easier than you can move the analog stick.
yeah, this
No
game
contest.
just feels right with the keyboard and mouse. So.
See, for me, I find it the opposite. Like, but that's because
That's
I
okay.
honed all
You're
my.
just wrong though.
I honed my shooter. I cut my shooter teeth on Halo, and it was all controller for me.
Right. Yeah, I can see that.
I wasn't a fancy pants Tyler. I didn't have my dad buying me Doom when I was a kid.
Yeah, Tyler.
I am fully aware of that silver spoon
So
planted firmly
check
in my
your
mouth.
privilege, Tyler.
Yep. Shout out to Dad. Thanks, Dad. Appreciate it.
Did you see it? Rob wrote there's hidden retro levels in each stage.
Oh shit! Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Rob, you just made my day. That's real cool. So like, what is it, like an arcade cabinet or something that you go up to and you just, or is like a wall you go through? You get the red key. I gotta look that up now. That's cool. Yeah, and everyone else can be like, okay, why did anyone ever play this? This sucks. And I'll just be like, yes.
Kind of like going from like D2 and D3 back to like the original Diablo. Brian's like, don't do it.
I'm not above people playing right into my nostalgia. That's fine. Too much of it would be off-putting, but I think they're striking a very good balance here. Anyway, thanks again, Brian. Thanks, Dad, for spoiling me as a kid. And,
Thanks, Rob.
thanks, Rob, for the pointers. I think that closes up what we played this week. There was a lot of them. We played a lot of games this week. Hey, let's talk about the news. There it goes. Boy, there ain't a lot of news, guys.
Nope.
Hey, happy birthday to Krang. Where's your cake? Where's the cake? Mortal Kombat turned 25, and you didn't have. Well done, sir. Man, you need to get one of those that works. That would be hilarious.
I know. I need one that makes noise. No, this is just the plebe dollar store version.
Saddest
that doesn't
noisemaker.
Oh my god.
Better.
Well, you tried. You get a gold star. Yeah, Mortal Kombat's 25 years old today, guys.
Wow.
Oh, that's what I was celebrating?
Yeah.
Okay, whatever.
You guys play some Mortal Kombat in your day?
No, never.
I did a little bit, not a lot.
Oh my god. Me and my best friend growing up used to play the shit out of Mortal Kombat.
I like
remember it
ripping the heads
fondly.
off and watch the spines come out. That was my favorite part.
That was Sub-Zero's finisher, and it was awesome.
Get over here.
Mhm.
Yep. That was
My parents would have never allowed me to play this game.
Yeah.
If they'd have ever seen it, it would have been something that disappeared immediately from the house.
I played almost every Mortal Kombat game. I played the first two like crazy. 3 was nuts when that came out in the arcade.
That's all I ever played when was at the arcade.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
3 got ridiculous with all the different finishers. You could do like brutalities and babalities and all. You could turn animality. You could turn into a freaking dinosaur and bite people's heads off. It just got kind of absolutely ridiculous, which I loved at the time because I was like, 10 or 12. Yeah, me and my friends used to play a shit ton of Mortal Kombat. So
Did the series go downhill as much as I think it did?
yeah.
Okay.
There was a 64 game. I think it was Mortal Kombat Old. I can't remember. There's been so many. They've rebooted a few times. There was a version on PS2, I think called Armageddon, that I really liked. You could like create your own character, and there was some neat stuff there. But I've heard really good things about I think it's Mortal Kombat X or 10. It was one of the more recent ones.
Rob saying the last 2 games are fantastic.
Yeah, I think they really they tried to add a lot to these games, and it started to feel a little bit bloated. I think there was a kart racing. There's a Mortal Kombat kart racing game like built into one of them. They've done some weird shit.
Probably shouldn't happen.
No, and at some point they've got like 100 different people. How many variants of the ninja dudes can you really have? So they've pared a lot of that back, and yeah, I think it's Mortal Kombat X that is very interesting to me, and I want to get eventually. But fighting games without somebody else to play them with aren't exactly as compelling to me. That's
No,
really a
because Soul
thing.
Calibur was my game, and you need to have like
You need someone at your same skill level to
Yeah.
play with.
Right. And that was always the fun thing is like, when you've got 4 buddies and we're taking turns and, okay, now you play against Steve and Steve gets a turn with Kevin and, so forth.
Yep.
That was always the best. And I
That's
don't
what me and my
have any
buddies
Steves
did.
or Kevins around to really play with, so
You have a Brian. And a
Yeah.
crane and a cat.
I'm not going to be your Steve or Kevin for fighting games. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I figured as much.
I'll tell you to shove your Mortal Kombat straight, clean up your butt. So,
Okay.
I won't do that. I'll just politely decline.
Yeah, well, you're not.
oh, Brian's a better person than I am. So,
It's true.
So anyway, happy birthday, Mortal Kombat. I hope you stay weird, but not too weird. I think that's fair. In other news, hey, I don't know if we talked enough about loot boxes last week. Loot boxes are the games that are ruining them, but Star Wars has caused a little bit of a kerfuffle. I don't know if anyone noticed, but U.S.
I've heard.
lawmakers are now getting involved, and there is a politician in Hawaii who is calling for regulation over loot boxes and gambling concerns.
I didn't want the government. I didn't want the U.S. government to get involved.
Right,
much.
it's kind of like a double-edged sword because I felt like, man, something needs to be done, but also I don't know if I'm ready for lawmakers getting involved in it again.
if the government gets involved and is able to classify loot boxes as gambling, won't that mean that any video game that has loot boxes, there would be some sort of legal requirement that you'd have to be 21? Because you have to be 21 to gamble now.
They get around it in other places, though. Like, I'm pretty sure in China, there's like a very strict,
Well, I'm talking here in the U.S.
Right, but what I'm saying is that game companies find ways around it. So instead of
You're not buying loot boxes, you're buying crystals.
right, and then
Using the crystals to buy the loot boxes.
And now you're not. The crystals will do something in the game. Instead of just being a currency, it'll be like that's how you buy, new outfits. And then also they just happen to include a loot box for free with it. So you're not buying loot boxes, you're buying crystals, and they have a value. You just happen to be getting this other thing that's giving you a chance at something for free, which is the thing you really want to buy.
It's a weird precedent because, aren't baseball cards and Magic and Pokemon, that's sure as shit gambling if this is. You're buying a thing and you don't know what you're buying and hoping for something good and valuable.
Yeah, I think the argument thus far has been that you're getting something, you're not ever getting
Like
nothing.
a physical object.
Right, I think, and that's...
You're not getting triangles.
Maybe that's where this gets a little bit different, but if the only thing you're ever going to get is virtual, and you're getting a virtual something every time you open a box, even if it's not, I think as long as it's not nothing, it's not truly the same as gambling. I don't know. I think that's how they've been able to avoid it for a while.
I'm tired.
What a weird place we've ended up in.
Yeah, it is weird, but it's also something that, like, clearly the gaming developers are not getting the message that people are only going to put up with so much shit. It took having the most downvoted post in Reddit history and, pre-order cancellations by the, seemingly hundreds or more, thousands probably, for Battlefront to get this far into the crosshairs. And now it's...
People want a sense of accomplishment, Tyler.
Yeah.
They don't want to just have Darth Vader. They want to earn him.
Yeah, do they?
Lazy shit. Yeah, clearly.
So, I don't know. I'm of two minds. I think it's good that this is getting, brought out into the light. Like so many things in 2017. Sometimes exposure is good.
Do you think Darth Vader would have been for or against loot boxes?
Ooh.
Because I have a feeling he would have been against them.
You think?
Yeah.
I don't know. The Empire needs its money.
Yeah, but he was born as a slave. So he knows the struggle of trying to, he knows the struggle of trying to play as your favorite Star Wars characters in a Star Wars video game and not having the money for the loot boxes.
He built C-3PO. He didn't get him out of a fucking loot box.
That's just because he's got real good bootstraps.
God. Don't remind
Darth
me.
Vader for president.
The prequels happened, Tyler.
Can we pretend
They happened.
I did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
but did
pod
Darth?
racing.
Hang on. Did
God damn it.
Anakin? Did Anakin build C-3PO or did the midichlorians build C-3PO?
Anakin did.
I will pay you real money if you never say midichlorians again.
Tyler,
Yeah.
you could pay me as much money as you want. I'm gonna turn it down just so I can say midichlorians.
And please don't write us about
The
that.
force is a scientific thing that can be measured and quantified. Just you gotta do a little poke and then look at your blood, and that's
Basically nanobots. Yeah.
Basically,
Okay.
nanobots.
Well, I don't know how we got there from where we were, but that's fine.
Hey-
That's a good place
hey,
to
Kat.
depart.
What?
Cat,
What?
Skype just popped up and told me it's your birthday.
Hey, look at
Is
that.
it your birthday
Is it
right now?
midnight? If it's
12:30.
midnight, yes.
Get your noisemaker out. No cake. No cake.
Fuck Mortal Kombat.
Wow.
Happy birthday, Cat.
that was
There you
Skyrim. I
Thank
mean,
you.
That's true. Yeah, Skyrim was 11 or 6 or whatever.
Thanks,
Man.
Rob.
Anyway, hey, I think the only thing we got left is December releases. Get your noisemaker out again, Kring. Give us a little. There you go. It's the saddest little thing. Hey, anything you guys are excited about coming in December?
the list looked pretty sparse.
Yeah.
They are doing an Okami remaster, and I'll be buying that on the Xbox because my oldest loves Okami.
God, she's played it probably a dozen
She-
times.
She said she's finished it 10 times.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and Okami's one of my favorite games. So
That's exciting. I see Destiny 2's expansion is coming out, Curse of Osiris. Still haven't.
is that going to be another raid?
I don't think so. I think they said that they're adding like a new type of challenge to the existing raid. Like it'll be another. I don't know if it's another like wing or another branch of it.
That's right.
But I
that's
think
right.
it's like another 6-player type of thing. I can't remember the details for it, but it's cool. They are adding more content to it. And I think it comes with some more tuning, obviously new loot drops and new story bits and stuff. But
Is this paid DLC? Do we know?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
I have to look at the price.
this is where I'm gonna lose you guys again.
Okay.
But I am kind of pumped for Steep Road to the Olympics.
Yeah. What's
Did you play Steep?
I never played Steep.
I heard
But,
very good things about it.
I have heard very good things about it as well, and I wanted to try it, but I never got around to trying out that game. But I have played several snowboarding games in the past, specifically from the Amped series.
Oh, this looks
and,
cool. Yeah.
Loved them.
Skiing.
And
Yeah.
if it has the Olympics in it, I am a sucker for Olympics games. I've been buying Olympics games since the Athens games in 2004.
See, that's the exact
And-
opposite for me. Like a game about snowboarding or skiing seems real cool, and I don't give a fuck about the Olympics part of it. So,
Like I'm kind of bummed. I haven't heard anything about Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games, which
yeah, that is
was a
disappointing.
thing.
That is
And
disappointing.
I wanted it. Like when I bought my
Crane-
Switch, I was like, "Yes, I'm going to be able to try one of these games out because I never tried one of them out, and I want to."
Crane, you're aware that the Olympics are like universally bad for everyone involved, pretty much, right?
Yes, I understand this,
All right,
Tyler.
I'm just
I
putting
don't
that out
have
there.
to.
I'm just
I,
saying.
I don't have to watch, but I can
You're-
play the video game.
They're-
Socially irresponsible.
They are the blood diamonds of sports.
They're not as bad as the
Child
World
slavery?
Cup. The World Cup is worse.
It's okay.
We're going to lose all of our European fans.
Just yeah.
Careful.
Okay.
Yeah, all of them. There they go.
All of
there they went.
Leaving in droves. And now there's no one.
Yep.
Thanks,
That's
Frank.
all we had.
I'm sorry, I forgot how big we were in
Rob's
Romania.
still here.
For-
Rob doesn't give a shit about soccer.
Furries, Rob in the chat, and Europeans. That was our base. There they went.
Furries, Rob, and Europeans,
Oh, and people from the Czech Republic.
also known as Europeans.
Yeah, but specifically that. Okay, so Steep, there you go. I don't think I care about anything in December. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is coming to the Switch.
Is that
so
a
I don't care at all.
RPG?
Yeah, it's the
Oh,
one
yeah.
with the stupid
Yeah.
pants, so I don't care.
Isn't that
They
the
all
one
have
with the stupid Zelda
They all
DLC?
have crazy pants, crazy weapons,
These
and
are
just
the stupidest
spiky hair.
pants I've ever seen in my entire life, Cat.
Did
Tyler,
you
show me these
see
pants.
Final Fantasy, the new one?
I don't know. It can't be this bad.
Those
though.
were some stupid pants, Tyler.
Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Stupid pants.
Stupid pants.
Stupid.
Here they are on Link, which is just, it's worse than
Oh,
Brian's yellow
that's right.
outfit.
Oh,
Here you go. There it is. I'm going to click it, make it big.
Make it big.
There they go. You can wear those stupid pants from Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and Breath of the Wild.
Can I dye them yellow?
I doubt it. I don't think they'd want to ruin the integrity. I mean, okay, so let's
I do like the headline.
let's forget for a moment that they have dumb gears and stuff all over them. He's wearing a vest that comes about nipple high. And he's got shorts on, like little shorty shorts, like little bike shorts.
Are there like
And then
anchor things
armor.
on his knees?
Yeah, it's like armor that covers his knees, but then goes away so that if someone wanted to attack his crotch vigorously, he'd be wide open. So,
I think that's the idea. I think that's a feature.
oh right, he needs to be able to get down. Like Link needs, or whoever the guy is in Xenoblade Chronicles.
Okay, that's really stupid.
So
It's
Stupid
it's worse.
confirmed.
It's worse than female armor in video games.
so
Oh my god, tell me about it. Seriously,
Nipple-
like
nipple high
obviously,
vests and
Yeah.
vigorous crotch attacks. Got it.
Vigorous crotch attacks better be the episode title for tonight. Because if it's not,
I think it has to be.
think we failed. I think we failed miserably. Speaking of vigorous crotch attacks, I think it's time for us to go.
Wait, what is
what kind
that?
of segue is that?
Tyler,
Yeah.
Tyler, before we go, I want to address something, okay?
Uh-huh.
You're the fucking worst at segues.
That was
You
a
have
joke.
no clue how to
You're-
do a
You're too
segue.
drunk to understand it, but there was a joke there. I'll let it
Was
come
there?
back around to you. Yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. Boy, Europeans, sorry to lose you. That World Cup shit, I know that cuts deep. So, but hey, if you decide to come back,
Go, boy. Name a soccer team. Somebody. United.
Liverpool.
Liverpool. Liverpool United.
Yeah. Manchester, the Manchesters.
You. Man, you.
Yeah. Boy.
Arsenal.
Hey
Barca.
guys, episode 56 is coming at you next week, and we're gonna have more games to talk about, and it's gonna be good. You should come. It's where it all comes together.
Boy. They might be the same
it's
game.
actually going to be.
It could be some of the same games.
We're actually going to title that one before we even start. Episode 56, the one where it all comes together.
Yep, no problems there. Hey, my computer didn't blue screen tonight, so we're already off to a great start. Real quick, send us some email, won't you? mail@questlogcast.com. Get the show on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, you know, the drill, wherever you get your podcasts. And thanks to Visager for all the great music that I bumbled my way through every single week. Cheers. We'll catch you guys all next week. Goodbye.
Take care.